Have you ever picked up your phone just to check one notification and then somehow ended up scrolling for hours? You tell yourself you're only going to watch one video, and then that one video becomes 10, and before you know it, it's midnight and you're wondering where your evening went. And honestly, I think we have been all there. I have definitely been there. Sometimes I will open Instagram for absolutely no reason, scroll for a few minutes, close the app, and then somehow open it again 2 minutes later, like something magically is going to appear in there. It's almost like my thumb knows where the app is before my brain even does. And the crazy part is that after all the scrolling, I don't even feel good. I feel tired, distracted, and somehow less motivated to do things I actually care about. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Growth Chapter. If you're new here, this channel is all about self-improvement, mindset, psychology, discipline, and rebuilding your life one step at a time. And if you have been following this life transformation series, first of all, thank you so much, and I really appreciate it that you're here. In episode 1, we did a life audit and got honest about where we are. In episode 2, we talk about some visualization and getting clear idea of the person we want to become. In episode 3, we built a morning routine to start our day intentionally. In episode 4, we talked about consistency and how to build a habit that actually sticks. In episode 5, which was last week, we talked about how you can set up your evening routine that supports your morning routine and build a healthy, relaxing evening closing down routine. But today, I want to talk about something that might be quietly sabotaging all of those things without you even realizing it. Today, we are going to talk about something called dopamine detox, and trust me, it's not as scary as it sounds. And you can see it on the screen that all the steps we'll be taking in order to detox our brain and reset our brain for being more fulfilling and enjoying our life rather than being constantly in front of the screens. And let's get started. When most people hear the word dopamine detox, they imagine sitting alone in a room with no phones, no TV, no music, no snacks, and no happiness. Honestly, that sounds less like self-improvement and more like being grounded as an adult. But that's not what dopamine detox actually is. A dopamine detox isn't about removing all the pleasures from your life. It's about reducing the constant stimulation that competing for your attention every single day. Just think about how much stimulation we are actually consuming without even realizing it. We wake up and check our phones, we scroll while eating our breakfast, we listen something while driving, we watch videos while eating lunch, we check notifications throughout the days, and then we spend our evenings scrolling, streaming, or switching between the apps every 5 minutes before going to bed. Our brains are actually constantly being fed entertainment, information, and distraction every waking moment. And while none of those things are necessarily bad on their own, the problem is that our brain never gets the chance to actually slow down and take a pause. For the longest time, I thought I had a focus problem. I thought maybe I wasn't disciplined enough. Maybe I just needed more motivation, but then I noticed something interesting. The more I spend consuming content, the less interested I become in creating anything for myself. Reading felt boring. Working on my goals felt boring. Even simple tasks felt boring. My brain was so used to getting that instant reward that anything requiring patience suddenly felt like a chore. And that's when I realized the issue wasn't my motivation, the issue was overstimulation. One thing that's very important to understand that dopamine isn't bad. We actually do need dopamine. It's what helps us feel motivated, excited about anything and everything in our life. The problem is that modern technology gives us so much quick dopamine hits that the normal life starts feeling less exciting in comparison. It's kind of like eating desserts before every meal. If you're eating a cake all day, eventually even a really good meal won't seem exciting. The meal didn't change, your expectations did. The same thing happens with your brain as well. Have you ever opened your Netflix and spent 20 minutes looking for something to watch only to decide that nothing looks that interesting? Or opened a TikTok, let's say, because you were bored and then somehow felt even more bored afterwards? It's funny because we are trying to usually escape boredom, but sometimes the very thing we are using to escape boredoms are actually making our life less enjoy in like normal daily life. So what do we do about it? The first step is becoming aware of your biggest source of mindless stimulation. For let's say for most people it will be TikTok. For the other it will be Instagram or YouTube short, or even online shopping can count in this, or constantly checking for notifications. Just be honest with yourself. What's the one thing that you automatically reach for whenever you have few minutes? What's the thing you tell yourself you will use for 5 minutes but somehow turn into 30 minutes? That's usually where you want to start first. The second step is usually one of the simple ones, but also that's where people struggle the most. Allow yourself to be bored. Seriously, boredom isn't your enemy or something. If, in fact, boredom is where a lot of creative problem solving and self reflection even happens. Think about some of the best ideas you ever had. They probably didn't came from while you were scrolling. They happened in shower, or while you were on walk, or driving somewhere, or doing something repetitive. That's because your brain finally had room to think. The problem is that we have become so uncomfortable with boredom that we immediately reach for our phones the second we feel bored or experience any kind of boredom. The problem is that we have become so uncomfortable with boredom that we immediately reach for our phone the second we experiences it. Standing in line, phone. Waiting for food, phone. 5 minutes before a meeting, of course, phone. The third step is replacing stimulation instead of simply removing it. If you just delete all the apps and leave a giant empty space in your day, you're probably going to go end up reinstalling them by the end of the weekend. Instead, replace some of that screen time with things that engage your brain differently. Go for a walk, read a few pages of a book, journal, listen to music without multitasking, spend time outside, call a friend. These activities might feel less exciting at first, but that's actually the part of the process. Your brain is learning how to enjoy slower form of stimulations again. And honestly, this is where the magic starts to happen. After a day or two of reducing constant stimulation, you begin noticing things. Your mind feels calmer, your focus improves, reading becomes easier, conversations feels more engaging. You stop feeling like your attention is being pulled in 10 different directions at once. Life doesn't suddenly becomes perfect, but your brain feels less cluttered. The biggest thing I want you to remember is that dopamine detox isn't going to be a punishment. It's not about proving how disciplined you are. It's about creating space to think, space to focus, space to reconnect with yourself. Because the truth is, most of us don't need more motivation or information. We already know we should be doing. We know we should be exercising, sleep early, work on our goals, take care of ourselves. The problem isn't the lack of knowledge. The problem is the attention constantly being stolen from all the different places that actually don't even matter to us. If there is one thing I really hope you take away from this episode, it's this. You don't need to quit technology, delete every single apps, or disappear into woods for months. But maybe you can give your brain a little less noise, a little less scrolling, a little less stimulation, and a little more space. Because sometimes the fastest way to move your life forward isn't by adding more to your life. Sometimes it's by removing the distraction that have been holding you back all along. So here is your challenge for this week. Pick one of mindless stimulation and take a break from it for at least 24 hours. That's it. Not forever, just one day. Then pay attention to how you feel. Notice how often you reach out for it. Notice how much more you feel present. And notice what happens when your brain finally gets the chance to actually slow down a little. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to the Growth Chapter, and join me for the next part of the Life Transformation series. We are not trying to be perfect here. We are trying to be more better, one step at a time. That's all. Thank you so much for listening to me today, and I will see you in the next one. Till then, bye.